Draped across the mountain peaks, a roof of ice. It is here that the rivers begin. Each mountain-born river, whether parting a northern forest or passing through groves of aspen, is a source of life to the land it passes through. Nowhere is this life-giving quality so visible, so dramatic, as where the rivers cross the semi-arid grassland. Where cottonwoods grow in the gray shadow of Badlands. The rivers of the plain. Prairie river valleys, threads of green shelter in a tapestry of grass. Birds that could not nest on the prairie nest here. Migrants that could not cross the continent without occasional rest here, in the wooded sections of the river valley. Summer lushness, winter haven. Forage and shelter for mule deer, pronghorn. All of these channels are water carved, but water carves in many patterns. The rampart wall, the open labyrinth of Badlands, Two centuries ago, explorer-surveyor David Thompson remarked on the way these rivers orchestrate life upon the land. In all seasons, the Indian, the bison, and the deer repose on the banks in perfect security. Whoever calmly views the admirable formation and distribution of the rivers, so wonderfully conducted to their several seas, must confess the whole to have been traced by the finger of the great supreme artificer for the most benevolent purposes. The ever-changing Red Deer River, the deeply incised South Saskatchewan, the gentle valley of the Bow. Rivers streaming over the prairie and down the watershed to Hudson's Bay. The Milk River, a quiet ribbon of water trending south, destined for the Gulf of Mexico. Gravity is the master of rivers, pulling them down earth conduits created by much greater flows of water. Valleys, carved in the aftermath of the age of glaciers. In that distant age, great tongues of ice issued slowly across the prairie, and when the climate warmed, they retreated, a pattern repeated many times. Each time the glaciers withdrew, torrents of water poured from under their mass. This was the valley's artificer. Meltwaters flushing debris from ancient river valleys, burrowing new channels in the stony till. Where the layer of glacial till was thin, the meltwaters attacked the bedrock, opening wounds that grew with time into badlands. A landscape new and dramatic, changed since that time in a much more gradual way. The annual seasons sculpt the basic forms that the melting glaciers left behind. Dinosaur hunter Charles H. Sternberg explored many river valleys in his long career. But when he first led an expedition down the Red Deer River, he was moved to write, "The scenery in ever-shifting panoramas was beautiful indeed. The rushing river hurried us on from one panorama to another, each one seeming more beautiful than the last." Water carves and rock resists. Different kinds of rock withstand water's force differently. The hardness of the rock and the speed of the river imply the changes in shape and verdancy seen along a river's course. In parts of the Red Deer River Valley, the stream is fast and straight. A narrow band of poplar lines its edge, and in many places there is no forest at all. But the Red Deer River, like all rivers, changes along its path. Farther downstream, where the fall of land is less steep, the valley widens. The river slows and begins to meander. A broader forest is created. Along the river's edge, plants seed and grow in the accumulated sediment, only to be scoured away by winter's ice. Lasting growth of trees and shrubs is married to a longer cycle, the cycle of floods. A major flood creates banks above the river's normal level, and here, safe from winter's ice, trees and shrubs are able to mature. These flood-borne woodlands are the true oases of the plain. 60% of the bird species in the prairies nest here. Migratory birds cross the continent in bursts of flight between these patches of river forest. A variety of life that would not be without the replenishing floods. Above the reach of the deepest flood, above the cottonwood forest, another habitat, the terrace. The glacial meltwater torrent left this flat bed of sediment, and much of it remains. An expanse of grass and shrubs, and further south, sagebrush flats. The river edge, the riparian woodland, the raised terrace, habitats cradled between the valley walls. But these walls are more than a frontier between prairie and valley. Their slopes and furrows, plains of shadow and light, provide fresh foundations for life. Sun-facing slopes are arid, but where erosion reveals a spring, the heat nourishes a rare lushness. Sweet-smelling disorder, clematis crawling along the branches of peach-leafed willow and Manitoba maple. Where valley bedrock was long ago gashed by meltwater, the powers of erosion have purchase. Of these Red Deer River badlands, Charles H. Sternberg wrote, "The deeper canyons have their ridges bisected by lateral ravines until they meet and form buttes and knolls that in turn weather into haystooks or sugarloaf mounds that are constantly reduced by wind and rain and frost. But for this constant corroding of the rocks, we would know nothing of the wealth of extinct forms that lie here in their last sleep. In the valley walls, the history of the earth is read. Inland seas, changes of climate, the ash of ancient volcanoes, events recalled by the layers, events revealed by the meltwater torrents that carved down through time. Stone echoes of tropical forests and great, long-vanished reptiles. The modern forces of erosion cut across time. Nature responds to the ever-changing surface, to the rhythms of moisture, soil, and sun. New life upon the very old. In the 1870s, pioneer geologist George Mercer Dawson explored the Milk River. Whatever the course of the pre-glacial rivers, he wrote, the new streams which began to form channels when the glacial conditions had passed away certainly did not follow the old beds. In fact, this is not true. The paths of the Red Deer and Milk Rivers are part meltwater channel, part pre-glacial river valley. But the mark of the glacial meltwater is so bold upon the canyon of the Milk River, it is easy to see how Dawson was deceived. Along that channel, so dramatically born, the modern river quietly winds, a looping signature on the valley floor. On the outside of the river's turn, the water is a blade cutting away the bank. Force exerted to the outside is calm created on the inside. And here, the sediments build. Point bars colonized by sandbar willow, precursors of a cottonwood forest. Eventually, the high water of spring will bite across the neck of a meander, straightening the river once more. The old channel is left to dry and fill with willow, its ridges to grow up in strong wood. The walls of the Milk River may seem too steep, too baked by sun for life. But for the plants and animals adapted to these conditions, there is no better place. Greasewood, water-conserving chenopods, plants adapted to the salt soils and parched conditions of the Badlands. Even the place where the valley and the upland join is a unique opportunity for life. Rim habitat, the localized home of the horned lizard. For the animals that colonize this narrow band of landscape, the valley and the upland both provide part of the necessities of life. Every part of the valley is habitat, a place where animals can burrow and forage, where predator can stalk prey. Badlands appear barren, the life upon them perched precariously. But in truth, the Badlands and the life they afford are resilient, difficult to threaten. The prosperity of the forested valley is equally deceptive. Its lushness, its bird plenty can be destroyed. If the floods that create this bounty stop, the valley will die. In the 1870s, George Mercer Dawson came to a place where the Milk River Valley was dramatically different. Suddenly, the channel was narrower, and the stone sides were hewn into fantastic shapes. Dawson wrote, "The rocks observed are chiefly sandstone of brownish and yellowish gray tints. These, in several of the lateral ravines, assume monumental forms from the unequal resistance of the several layers to weathering. Faced with this obstacle of sandstone, the meltwaters clawed a steep and narrow track, a river interval made spectacular by natural force pitted against natural resistance. Nature's wind-chiseled art, drawing man's hand to it in search of understanding. Drawing creatures of the natural world who can best use these specialized niches for survival. For economic reasons, for reasons of the spirit, man has always been drawn from the prairie to these cool valleys. The goals of man, the needs of nature, track the moving path of water together. If we disturb the delicate balance we come here to enjoy, it will vanish slowly before our eyes. But if we learn to appreciate its singular beauty and its essential rhythms, we will be able to share and enjoy the valleys and the Badlands forever.